So when we all get home tonight after working at National Mechanics, or in the case of Michael, after 10 shots to celebrate 10 story slams, stumbling home in East Falls, somebody's gonna ask us that monumental question, right? Whether it's a spouse or a partner, fiance, a husband, wife, a cat, or a roommate. It's how was your day? And I've realized, much like people who stand or sit after the airplane lands, there's two types of people here. You have my fiance, who wants to tell a long and winding tale of her day and the adventures of lunch and coworkers and whatnot. But I adhere to a different model that a young man named Christopher greatly embodies, and that every single time I've talked to Chris, he responds with, "It's lit," or "It's not so lit, Oscar." My name's Oscar. As Chris said, I'm the founder and executive director of College Together. We're a nonprofit here in Philadelphia, and what we're doing is we're building a new category of college that we call Fusion College, which combines elements of online, digital, brick and mortar, all the different modes of college you have heard about. We scrap the parts that don't work to build a new, radically affordable, accessible, and supportive pathway for higher education for young and young at heart here in Philadelphia. And one of my favorite students of all time, whether it's a lit day or a not so lit day, is Chris. I want to tell you a little bit about him. Last week, actually, I had the chance to ask Chris, hey, can you tell me a little bit about some of your biggest, most critical moments in life? And of course, he was able to rank these moments in chronological order and judge them based on his very unique scale of judgment. So I said, Chris, what's your favorite day of the year? I want to share 5 moments that Chris identified. He said, well, September 20th, 1998, of course. And I go, why? Chris goes, it's the day I was born. It was totally lit, duh. Super happy about that. Moment number 2 was June 15, 2017. Chris became the first member of his entire family to graduate from high school. Chris grew up in North Philadelphia, the son of Puerto Rican immigrants, and he graduated, not the top of his class, he said, but he said, you know, near the top is what he told me. He graduated with honors from Kensington High School for the performing and creative, for the creative and the performing arts. That's moment number 2. Chris then, after that, I remember going to his graduation and talking to him. He said, hey, Oscar, I'm not done here. This is not the last graduation I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to go to college. Well, 2 years later was Chris's 3rd critical date and moment. It was fall 2019. Chris had enrolled in a large local community college, and after 2 years, he called me. Oscar, I've been here for 2 years. I have 9 credits. I have $3,000 of debt. I don't know what happened. I gotta let you know, I can't continue. I lost my financial aid. I'm dropping out. Now, Chris followed a message that so many of us have told, have heard, have followed ourselves. Chris told me, Oscar, I was told when I was in middle school, go to college and you will succeed. But for so many young people like Chris, that's the message, but that's not the happy outcome. 6,000 students every single year in Philadelphia graduate high school and enroll directly in college. 70% of them within 2 years will drop out with debt and no degree. If you're a high schooler here in Philadelphia, we all know the stats. You have a 10% chance of eventually earning some type of college diploma. This message is told far and wide. Again, many of us have followed it. Many of us tell it to this day. And some people have said we might need to change the message. Don't tell people to go to college. Do something differently. Chris actually tried trade school for half a year and said, I don't want to do trades. I want to be a college graduate. Some of us have told to change the students. They should work harder or be more prepared. But why does nobody talk about changing the colleges? Why is it the students and the young people who have dreams and hopes and talent who need to change? We've all heard of what happened at UArts this week, and a professor was quoted today in the Inquirer that this is an abnormal, once-in-a-lifetime experience. What I can tell you that the trauma of starting college and not finishing it is something that students are going to feel for a lifetime. This might be an isolated incident, but this feeling of being cheated by young people is not an isolated feeling at all. You know, think about your favorite sports teams. For Chris, it's obviously the Phillies. Zach Wheeler was not great before he came to the Phillies. That's because he was on the Mets. What he needed was the right system, the right team, the right fans, the right city, and maybe that's what people like Chris needed. So in early 2020, a great year to pivot things in anyone's life, Chris said, I'm going to try college again. And at College Together, what we did is we said, hey, we've done high school mentorship, we've done curricular changes. Maybe what we really need to do is to change college and combine Southern New Hampshire University's project-based digital curriculum, where you earn credits as you go along instead of at the end of a semester, and combine that with in-person support and community. Chris enrolled in late 2020 after we all masked up. And moment number 4 is April 2023. Chris graduated college along with 8 other students who are the vanguard of this new college movement, zero debt on time. And moment number 5 is last week. Last Thursday, we held our second graduation at College Together, and Chris showed up to support his friend Mark, who also graduated with 13 other students with zero debt and also on time. What Chris tells us is that a message can endure, but systems have to change. We have a choice in this country, especially in this city. We can go down the same path towards college closures, students who are hearing the message, getting debt, no degree, or we can create a new path in Philadelphia. One where students earn a degree, they're able to not be in debt, and that they, like Zach Wheeler on the Phillies, find opportunity, a model, a team that works for them. When I said goodbye to Chris last Thursday night, he said, Oscar, more people got to hear about this. And I said, well, Chris, before we talk about tonight and these graduates, how are you doing? He, of course, said, Oscar, moment number 5, it's lit. Thank you.